Good morning. All right, it is morning. About 7 a.m. Laid it yesterday at this time. Just a tune-up track. I figured as long as we were doing a tune-up track, I would include a directed search. It's about time. We haven't done one for a while. I kind of do them on every practice track. You might notice I just kind of mosey him up to the hit site and don't say anything to him. And when he sticks his nose on the hit site, I congratulate him and tell him, hey, that's your deer, and ask him if he's ready and give him the track command. Directed search, pretty simple what it is. The hunter's not sure where the deer was standing. You might have a giant cut cornfield or cut bean field, or it's a long rifle shot, or could be anything. I mean, 2 or 3 years ago, we had a guy on public land, took his stand down after he shot with a bow and couldn't find the tree he was in, so we couldn't find the hit site. We did a directed search. There's a lot of other scenarios I could come up with. It really happens a lot more than hunters or newer handlers would believe. You'd be surprised how many of our tracks the guy's not really sure where the deer was standing. Mostly in cut fields, long shots in cut fields, but lots of other scenarios too. Basically what we do is I use a track command and a search command. You've heard me say, find me some blood. That's what I use for search. The dog knows the difference. I'm basically simulating that the hunter doesn't know where this deer was standing, but he's got the general idea that it was in the corner over here. I didn't put the actual hit site on the quote-unquote deer trail. There's not really much of a trail, but there's a little bit of a trail. I put it just off to the side of the deer trail. I did use blood. I generally use blood for these. You don't have to. I just think it's more realistic and fairer to the dog. I don't use a lot of blood. I might put 2 or 3 drops on the hooves before I stomp it down. I might squirt 3 or 4 drops out on the ground at the hit site, but I'm trying to not walk him directly up to the hit site. I'm trying as best I can to actually simulate that we're looking around, and I will give him time to search around in the general area. If he doesn't get there, I might walk him a little bit closer. My guess is with the realism of a little extra blood, he'll see it. Didn't use any blood on the track once we got started, other than what was residual from the 2 or 3 drops on the hooves. You don't need blood to do this. You can do it with hooves. Just stomp around really well and scrape a good spot out on the ground with your hooves. Happens more often than not. Let's see how it goes. You ready to go tracking? You ready to go tracking? Yeah. You look really bored. You haven't woken up yet? Let's go tracking. Come on out of there. There. So we're here. We've got our simulated virtual hunter with us. And I'm just going to walk him down this line and give him a search command and see if he does a head snap as we pass the actual. Right now he's just looking for critters. Pretty deer rich area in here. He knows why he's here. Find me some blood. Now in the real world, we'd search all over in this corner. We'd walk around in circles, trying to get relatively close to the spot. It's amazing how often the hunters are way off from where they shot it, but once he finds it, if he does, we'll simulate that. Oops, don't poop on your leash, buddy. That's funny. Now he feels better, I think. Find me some blood. Gave me that I don't smell anything look. What do you want me to do? Where are we going? And that's common. Peeing. Give him the search command again. The hunter feels really confident that the deer was standing somewhere in this corner. That's not always the case. You're looking for looking for the dog to indicate some clear visual sign, or start showing tracking behavior versus searching behavior. Now, when I see the blood and he starts tracking, mild congratulations and a track command. Now we're coming up. I didn't use any markers on this. Well, I used markers after this, but I thought there was one little bitty marker I put up over here. But getting to the spot where I turned in. Let's see. Missed it. See that head? Kind of looked over there. Looked over there again. It's right in here somewhere, I think. Huh. That was a little bitty marker. Oh, maybe it's up there. Yeah, there it is. He found it. See that? That's why we bring a dog. Now, he looks like he's tracking to me. He picked a trail into the woods close to where the hunter thought the deer was standing. And I look down and I don't see any blood because it rained, but and I only used a few drops, but well, change your mind. This is it, dude. You found it. Might not want to go in there. You distracted? Hey, find me some blood. Yeah, you know where it's at. Yeah, track it. I see blood here. I don't really see it because of the... Yeah, he was just being a sissy about going through this high grass. Sorry for his bad luck. Amazing. He didn't like the stickers. There aren't that many of them after this. So now we're tracking. And it's just like any other track. I'm going to get off his butt, let him do his job. If he does it. Yeah. And one other thing, these hooves are on their last play. So, no excuses, but I left them out there as a target because it's like their 6th use. It's just trying to get one more use out of them, make it a little harder on him. So far he's doing all right. Yep. I struggle getting up this hill with the tracking shoes on, so if I embarrass myself, I apologize. I might have to drop the rope here to get up. There we go. Not bad for an old fat guy. This looks correct. Now the track itself is easy, other than the 24 hours and the played out hooves. It's short. I think I got 650 yards. Deer trails. I jumped a couple of deer while I was laying it, but nothing serious. At this point, there's no real tricks. I try to, even when I'm doing these tune-up tracks, I try to turn on and off deer trails. I'm not really sure about this. I may have, speaking of which, I may have turned off this deer trail at this point, but let him go. He seems to like this, but he might be joyriding. Oh, here's where, there, see that head? Goes up to the right over here. Looking down right where we jumped a deer, or I jumped a deer yesterday. But guess who knows where the line is? That's so funny. he stops, I stop. When he tries to reacquire, I let him work. So that was a turn off a deer trail. Looks like there's, now I'm wondering if I couldn't have gotten one more use out of these hooves. Although you'd be surprised. That couple of drops on the hoof for the directed search for a dog, that scent could easily last 600 yards. Who knows? And that's why some people don't use blood. And there's times when I don't. I had some left over from a test line that I ran. And in reality, I mean, I'm sure I used less than a tablespoon. Might have been more like a teaspoon. Just drops. As opposed to squirts. Thought there was another turn off of this deer trail. Somewhere in here. I'm not sure where it is, but he looks like he's happy. So we'll just go. Although thinking I should maybe a little circle action. Right here. So he's on the line, just correcting himself. Don't want to influence him. He looks good. I'm going to follow him. You know, being senile kind of helps. It's almost like laying your own blind track. And I do have the GPS if I get horribly confused. But I like the part where I think I'm wrong or I think he's wrong and he turns out to be right. I think I made a left turn right after this lay down here somewhere. Maybe there. You got it. Kind of, sort of. Very nice correction. That's why you let the dog work. Stay off his ass and don't push him. Getting close. Now, we make a hard left at some point. I don't hear anything. Make a hard left at some point and go down this hill a little ways to the clearing. And the target's just short of the clearing. We do cross a bunch of perpendicular deer trails on the way down. You may have missed the turn. Yeah, I see a marker down there. Let's see if he figures it out. Gets in that little, not frantic, but for this dog a little frantic. The breathing increases, the energy level tells me that he's a little panicked. Panic's not the right word, but then he reacquires and all is right with the world. That's why we let the dog work. Trying to cheat a little bit. Don't let new dogs do this. Get right on them. Point to the line and tell them to track versus air scent. I let him do it because it works. He might be smelling the target. Or he might be just entertaining himself, trying to smell critters on the wind. Hard to tell with this guy, especially during the practice season, but patience. I'm not going to let him stand there all day, and I wouldn't in the real world. But give him some time to kind of work things out. Don't look at me, dude. It's up to you. Let's see what he does. People are getting bored, dude. This could be scent pool, or it could be goofing around, but if it's scent pool, he'll zero in on it. It's very possible it is. I squirted some blood. I still had a little bit of that teaspoon left, and I emptied the bottle, whatever I had left, at the target. Not on the line, but at the target. So I think, I don't know why I would have tied this ribbon up if I didn't turn down here, but I'll let him go. He looks like he's feeling good about it. There's definitely a left turn off this deer trail somewhere. There he goes. Isn't it fun watching dogs track? Okay, he's heading down for the target now. Now it's not on this deer trail, it's off to the left. Wouldn't think he'd have any trouble finding it with that extra couple of drops I squirted. See the air scenting? Scent pool right there. Now I should make a left. Maybe, kind of, sort of. He's right at it. I'm going to let him zero in on it there. Watch the tail. Good boy. What a good dog. Very nice, mister. Very nice, Valentino. Yeah, you don't even care about that? You don't want your reward? Where are you going? He's going out there looking for critters. Come here, buddy. Get your reward. You got it. Come on. Come on back in here. I'll probably save these hooves, even though I think they're kind of sort of played out. He did fine on this track. This was not a hard track. 24 hours, had a little bit of blood at the beginning and the end, and some on the hooves, which really helped. Good boy. What a good dog. Good dog, Valentino. I don't know what you're smelling out there, but I'll let you off your lead. Good boy. Yeah, good boy. He's like, get those hooves away from me. Where's my reward? 652 yards, 24 hours, dawn launch. We're avoiding the heat. I know I say train like you fight, but it's not even necessarily for him as much as it is for me. I just don't feel like being out here when it's 90. Yeah, we do end up doing some of those hot weather tracks down in Kentucky, first week of September, the beginning of September especially, but we take those as they come. But just for my purposes, I didn't feel like being out here. It's humid enough right now, but it's nice and cool. Nobody's even panting. So today's reward is venison sausage. That's appropriate. Let me see if I can get it open, Valentino. Let me get my gloves off. So 652 yards, 24 hours, about I mean, 10 or 12 drops of blood total. And probably 4 of those were on the bottom of the hoof to simulate the directed search. So as far as the directed search goes, I think it's maybe every 4th or 5th track do that. You've seen me. I talked about it when I was back at the buggy. Good boy, what a good dog. I mosey him up to the hit site in general and don't show it to him in the real world and in practice. When he sticks his nose on the hit site and it's obvious and there's clear sign, I congratulate him and tell him that's his deer, ask him if he's ready to track, and give him the track command. So it's kind of sort of like a directed search, except for I don't say, find me some blood, which is my search command. Good boy, what a good dog. Nice track, Valentino. 2 or 3 nice corrections. That's normal with this dog. That's why we let the dog work and we stay off their ass. I mean, if the dog misses and you're looking at something else or distracted by the hunter, checking your GPS, when he stops, I stop. When he looks like he's going into search mode, I let him work, give him a chance. And generally these dogs will reacquire on their own. If they don't in practice, you obviously show it to them, lead them through what you'd like them to do as a technique, but eventually they'll build their own techniques. Good dog, Valentino. All right, that's the directed search. Any questions? Call, PM, text. I think it's an important thing to practice. Most of these dogs know on their own after they get seasoned that, you know, you want them to look for the smell of a wounded deer. You definitely can do it with hooves only if you prefer. I think it's more realistic and fairer to use blood, and you don't have to use a lot. As I said, I used just a little bit. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time. Good boy, Valley Valster.